So today's session is about meditation, the benefits of meditation. And then towards the end, we are going to have Madeeha Afridi, who has taught me how to meditate, which is like a miracle in itself. She's going to be facilitating the meditation session, as well as giving you a little bit of a 101 on what happens in your brain. And how to actually go about it. Because most of us are like, I don't know how to meditate. Do you just sit there? What do you do? Do you think about anything? Do you not? And those were my questions. And so we have had her come in. When I teach meditation, it just sounds funny. Because people don't believe me. But when you meet Madeeha, you will know the zenness of her, and you will see why she has been my teacher. So I have asked her to join us. Please do stay towards the end. I'm going to just speak for maybe the first 20-ish minutes, just to give you guys a little bit of an overview. And then I'm going to let her take the floor, and then I will be with you guys till the end. I'm answering questions as well. So just a couple housekeeping rules. The session is being recorded. It will be sent to you. And there is a Q&A box right there. And you guys can just ask your questions even as I'm talking, if you have any questions, so we make sure that we answer those. Madeeha is on the line right now, so she might be even answering some of those questions as I go along. So if you have any questions about meditations, just drop them in there. You don't have to wait till the end. I'll be sharing the screen with you guys. So that's what we're doing today. And we are talking about meditation. So for those of you who don't know us, I'm just going to do a quick 101. I haven't done this in a while, so I'm just, I'm going to make sure that you guys know who we are. We're a mental health and wellness center in Dubai. We have about 30 clinicians, making us one of the largest centers in the UAE, and probably the longest standing, with 10 years sort of under our belt and serving the community. We have about 22 different support groups running at this time. So please make sure that you go check that out. These are free of charge, and they are led by a psychologist. And that makes them very therapeutic. We don't call them therapy groups because they are, they're supposed to be supportive. But anything from grief to new mothers to divorce to single parenting to Black people experiencing racism. I mean, literally, if there's a support group that needs to be created, we've done it. So I'm going to just let you go on all of our social media platforms or our website to get more information on that. All right, let's get started. So what if I told you that there is a magic wand that you just have to wave around, just like this, for 5 minutes, every few hours, maybe not even 5 minutes, maybe 3 minutes every few hours. And in that, you will reduce symptoms, sorry for the typo there, symptoms that are associated with depression, anxiety, pain, insomnia. You're able to enhance the ability to pay attention and make memories, because all of us are thinking, oh my God, it's already May. How is this happening? Time moves so fast. I don't remember anything. What if I told you that just by waving this wand, you can also protect against cognitive decline? One of the major fears of the developing world are Alzheimer's and cancer. And these two things we can help reduce the risk by waving this wand. We can increase your ability to take perspective, because sometimes we feel our aperture is so narrow and we don't have the ability to creatively problem solve or to bring our best self to any given situation. What if I told you that you can increase your gray matter in your brain, which is the frontal lobe, but other parts of the brain, which allow you to have more self-awareness, which allow you to have more compassion for people, makes you just a nicer person and a more grounded person. What if I told you you can actually shrink the gray matter associated with rumination, worrying, mind wandering? When I say rumination, it's when you get into that thought loop and it's looping and it's looping and it's looping and it's looping. What if I told you all you had to do was you had to wave this wand around for 3 minutes several times a day, and you could actually reduce the size of that? What if I told you that you could be less reactive and be more responsive to things? So when someone comes and says something to you, you don't just shout back, you actually think about that and you say, I'm not going to respond to that, actually. I'm going to let you take that one, and that's it. What if I told you that you would be less obsessive about yourself and about your past and be more present in the moment? What if I told you all you had to do is wave this thing around, several times a day for just a few minutes? Would you do it? Right? We would. All of us would. We would go to the end of the earth to get this wand and actually bring it back just so we could wave it around for 3 minutes, several times a day, 5 minutes, several times a day. Of course, if you do it for 30 minutes a day, for sure, it is guaranteed that these things are possible. It is guaranteed if you do it for 30 minutes a day. What if I told you that? All of you would do it. Can I see some hands? Would you do it? Yes, you would. Yep, I knew it. My screen is lit up right now. Yes, you would. Well, I'm telling you that. I'm telling you that meditation is all that. And there's so much research coming out now that is saying that these are the things that are associated with, 30 minutes of meditation a day. Now, maybe not, even with 5 minutes a day, you can start to see some of these things happen. But with 30 minutes a day for 8 weeks, for sure, these things can happen. So today we're going to be talking about what is mindfulness meditation, what it's not, what is mindfulness living, mindful living versus a meditation practice, and then giving you some familiarity on how to meditate. So that is where Madeeha will take over and my camera will go off, but I will take you through the front end of it. So the first part, let's talk about what is mindfulness. Mindfulness is paying attention to your life in the here and now with a kindness and curiosity. It can be applied to sensory experiences, thoughts, your emotions, by using a sustained attention and noticing without reacting. And I love this definition by Jon Kabat-Zinn, who says mindfulness is about being fully awake in your life and experiencing and perceiving things vividly in each moment. What does that mean? So when I am feeling sad, I'm actually watching myself and saying, what is that sadness about? I wonder what is making me so sad. What happened before I got sad? Did something happen that made me so sad? I'm not, oh my God, I'm so sad. I'm not in that space. I'm not in the water, I'm riding the wave. But I'm not sad. As you noticed, I used an emotion that we all don't want to be, but I'm actually watching the sadness with a kindness and a curiosity and saying, what's going on here? Where's this coming from? What happened? What will make me feel better? What will make me feel less sad? I'm just coming at it with a kindness and curiosity. That's what mindfulness is. That's what mindfulness meditation is. Well, mindfulness is not. Most people imagine this person sitting on a cushion somewhere up on a mountain or on the side of a lake, just looking so zen and still. Yeah, no, that's not what it is. You can go there and do that, and that would be great, but that's not what we're talking about here. It is not the absence of thought. It is not religious, because a lot of people are like, well, I'm Muslim and this is a very Buddhist thing. This is actually quite secular. And Jon Kabat-Zinn is known for doing the scientific research that is secular. And hospitals across the United States, in the World Economic Forum, which is in Davos every year, he has come in and taught world leaders. He has taught patients. He started with cancer patients, actually, and he has said this is a secular thing that works for everyone, not just for Buddhists, not just for Hindus, not just for Muslims, not just. So it is actually a secular thing that you can do. Mindfulness is not about being calm. As I told you, that you can be very angry and be mindfully angry, but you're not reacting and you're not punching and shouting and screaming. You're like, where's that coming from? So you're actually still engaged with the anger, but you're engaged with it with a kindness and curiosity and not a reactivity and explosion. And mindfulness is not about sitting on a cushion and meditating, thank God. Although I have no problems with sitting on cushions and meditating. I actually have a meditation chair that I sit on, but that's not what we're talking about. So what's the difference between meditation and mindfulness? And mindfulness meditation. So meditation actually means that you're setting the thoughts aside and connecting to a cosmic consciousness. This is what most people refer to as a meditation. There's transcendental meditation, healing meditation, mantras you can om, and this one and that one you can actually engage with. Dhikr in the Islamic tradition is also a form of meditation. Loving kindness meditation is a form of Buddhist meditation. Qigong, where you are actually using energy and connecting, that could be seen as a meditation. But what mindfulness meditation is a form of just staying with the present moment and building a muscle in your frontal lobe and shrinking the muscles in other parts of your brain. So mindfulness meditation is where you use your breath as your anchor point. And what that is basically like going to the gym, and you're lifting when you go to the gym, but that makes it easier for me to move my sofa. So lifting is where you sit and you focus on your breath, which is what we will all do soon. And we focus on our breath, we bring it, and the thought comes and we bring it back to the breath. That is the formal practice of meditation, mindfulness meditation. But if I drink a glass of water, I can do that mindfully by staying with the water. I can read mindfully. I can eat mindfully. I can walk mindfully. I can drink mindfully. I can do anything mindfully. But mindfulness meditation is where you sit for a certain amount of time throughout your day and you focus and you build that muscle. Okay, so I want to just differentiate. Meditation is all of these things. Usually when we say meditate, you're connecting to some sort of cosmic consciousness or energy. When we talk about mindfulness meditation, you are focusing on the present moment in a formal practice where you are saying, all right, put aside everything. I'm now going to focus on this breath to build that muscle, which makes all other parts of your life a little bit easier. The first screen that I told you about. And then mindful living is doing anything that is in the moment, but engaging with it vividly and consciously and fully. Eating, drinking, driving, walking, all of that. Now, why do we want to do this, and how does it actually work? How does the first screen of the magic wand actually work? Madeeha is going to tell you a little bit about parts of the brain, although I gave you a little bit of an overview, but I just want to focus on one thing because I could go on and on about this. I don't want to. I want you to actually meditate today. The most important thing, in my opinion, well, actually the second most important thing, because the shrinking of the amygdala is a real thing, and Madeeha will talk to you about that, but the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is the wandering nerve. Vagus, some people call it Vegas, but I have strange associations with that word. So Vegas is not where I'm going with this. I'm going to go to vagus. Vagus is the Latin word for wanderer. If you look on this picture, you see this wandering nerve. You see the whole set of nerves that are coming out of the brain. The brain is actually connected to the whole body through this nerve called the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve connects your brain to, your sinuses, your adrenals, your kidneys, actually, I don't know if the adrenals are connected, but your liver, your stomach, your heart, your kidneys, your brain, all are connected. It literally is the essence of the mind-body connection. Okay? Now, when we meditate, we are literally juicing up that vagus nerve. We are calming down the vagus nerve. And the vagus nerve is basically like a battery for your rest and digest system. We have the fight or flight system, which is connected to our amygdala, and we literally are reactive and we act out and we're anxious and we're fearful. That's the amygdala. The vagus nerve is the opposite of that. It juices up the parasympathetic system versus the sympathetic system. And it actually says, all right, you can chill now. Everything is fine. And most of us has very poor vagal tone. What it means to have strong vagal tone is that you have the full battery right now. And that means you're going to be less reactive. Your body's going to have less inflammation. Less inflammation is just good for everything in your body, including how you sleep, how you restore your muscles, how your immune system works, how your kidneys work, how your liver works. cancer cells, all of that is actually connected to inflammation. So meditation juices up the vagus nerve, which takes care of everything else. Okay, so for me, this is the most important thing. And when I'm thinking vagal tone, I'm thinking meditation, just so I can make sure that the rest of the system is working fine. Now, there are some ways you can actually engage in formal meditation practice, and these are some of the apps that you can engage in, okay? Headspace is one of them. It is not my favorite, to be honest with you guys, although a lot of corporate companies have formal sort of agreements with Headspace. It's just not something that has captivated my interest. Omvana is one of them. I actually use a lot of binaural beats. So Brain FM is actually my favorite. And I can write that down in the Q&A. If someone asks me, please tell me the apps you use, I will tell you the apps that I use. And I haven't updated this because this is something that I probably have done in the most recent times. But Brain FM has captured my attention for the most amount of time. And Brain FM actually works for attention, it works for sleep, and it makes for you to move into that meditative state quite quickly. So I'll give you the one that I use and I've been using most often, I would probably say in the last 6-7 months. And so you guys can just take a picture of that. And then this is ways you can actually engage in mindful living. So of course, meditation is going to be one of them, and sitting on that couch is going to be, you know, sofa or cushion or whatever it is that you sit on is going to be one of those reasons, but one of the ways. But yoga is one. What I use the term is actually called awareness training. So I'm now focusing on the things that I'm hearing. I'm looking at 5 things I can name, smells that I'm smelling. Any of that where you are literally in the moment is strengthening that frontal lobe. Most of us have a monkey mind right now. Thanks to this sweet little thing that we have, we can't keep our attention for more than a few seconds. What this is doing is training your brain to actually stay in the moment. So some people are going to be like, oh, well, I can't meditate. And, you know, I'm still going to encourage you to meditate, because if you can't meditate, then you basically are saying, I'm not willing to meditate. Because if you can breathe, you can meditate. And I know when I first started, and I'm from a type A hyperactive school of thought, which is my way of living. I have only lived like this. I only know how to be hyperactive, as you can imagine from me just bouncing up and down in my seat. And I went to my sister Madeeha and I told her, I can't live like this, because I literally felt like there was smoke coming out of my ears towards the end of the day. And I felt like I was overwhelmed. And I said, I need to find another way to live, but while still engaging in the things that I engage in. And so she told me, just start with 10 seconds. And so I started with 10 seconds, where I would just focus on my breath multiple times a day, just connecting with my breath. So start with 10 seconds, okay? And also do some of these activities. For some people, baking, where you're just cooking and you're sort of in that moment where you're cutting, you know, things, or you're blending things, just be with that very thing. And don't try to be on your phone, and don't listen to a podcast, and don't talk to your friend at the same time. Be with whatever it is that you're baking and cooking for that amount of time. When you're painting, be with the colors and be with the smells of it and be with the image of it and get very detail oriented. Sewing is very mindful, right? You can only focus on the needle and the thread and the needle and the thread. Your mind might wander, but you're really focused on that activity. For me and my kids, puzzles are a great way to just ground myself. It's a mindful way of living. When I feel very hyperactive and when I feel, you know, like things are moving very fast, I actually get puzzles out and we will engage in puzzles, because there's nothing else you can think of when you are looking for that puzzle piece. Your mind doesn't wander. Chess is another mindful activity. If you play chess, you are absolutely working those parts of the brain that are going to be helping you to be less reactive. Chess is a beautiful metaphor for life. And it is a beautiful thing to do with young kids as well as with grown-ups. And there's so much research out there that says how people who play chess have absolutely sharp brains way late in life because of the different parts of the brain that they have exercised for the duration of their life. So these are some ways you can engage in mindful living that is going to help your mindfulness meditation practice, which is going to help you with all the things that I mentioned on that first magic wand screen or slide that I showed you guys. So now I'm going to hand over to Madeeha, who's going to take you through meditation. And I'm going to stop sharing the screen, and I'm going to let Maddie have the floor. Madeeha have the floor. So Madeeha, are you with us? Oh, I'm going to, are you, yeah. Oh, you're on mute.
I think you just have to make me the host. I'm here.
All right, floor is yours.
Thank you. So hi, everyone. Just a little bit about me. My name is Madeeha Afridi. I am a licensed psychotherapist from the US, also practicing as a mindfulness and meditation coach at the LightHouse. So I want to go through, before I teach you all how to meditate the right way, I really hope that all of you are able to stay until the very end, because most of the clients that I have been working with in the past decade of doing this work, most of them will come back to me and say, I began to meditate, it's changing my life, it's changing everything, mind, body, soul, myself, and with others. But until I met you, I just thought I wasn't doing it because I didn't know how to do it. So as much as I love the apps and I find them of value, nothing beats just learning from a good live teacher. That's how I learn. And then hopefully buying into the science. It will change your life because it's changing the structure of your brain, and your brain guides your thoughts, your emotions, your body, most of the things that we are doing. So Saliha covered the why we meditate, all of the scientific benefits. I just want to quickly add a few things to that. There are three major parts of the brain that I want you to keep in mind that meditation, when you begin to meditate, that it will change. It's these three, but please remember, it's not limited to these three. There is a lot more positive stuff happening when you begin to meditate, but these are the three main regions. So this part of the brain, it's called the prefrontal lobe, also called the frontal cortex, the prefrontal cortex. Imagine it like a very wise, highly qualified pilot. It is responsible for us to manage our stress, manage anxiety, manage difficult emotions, creativity, motivation, passion, staying focused, and you get the idea. Also being present. A lot of people we hear these days, I am trying so hard to be present, but my mind is wandering all over the place. I just want you to know there's some sort of decay or imbalance or structural changes happening in that person's prefrontal cortex. So when they do the brain scans for the meditators, this part of the brain is growing. So as Dr. Saliha mentioned, the gray matter, whenever you hear the gray matter in meditation workshops or anything, this is what they mean. Prefrontal cortex is growing in size, okay? So if you know any daily or regular meditators, you're gonna notice that they're just different in their life. They're able to keep things into perspective. When people are blowing things out of proportion, they're just a little more balanced, grounded, they have a little more. Again, they're not robots, so they're not gonna be perfect, but they just have more self-regulation and emotional regulation, and I want you to know why. They're not putting in any sort of technique that they learned from a therapist or this or that. They have changed what their brain is doing. Their brain is working for them. So this is the part of the brain. Then the second part of the brain that I want you to keep in mind, that your brain will begin to change when you meditate, how I will teach you right after this. There's a part of the brain here and here called the amygdala. It is the fight, flight, freeze, and activated part of our brain. The moment things are not going the way that we plan, imagine the amygdala is resting, it begins to activate, and it shoots chemicals off and it fogs this part of the brain. So let's say you have planned a presentation and things are not going well. You have an argument with your partner, children, so on and so forth. Just imagine there was a resting amygdala, all of a sudden it becomes activated, shoots, and anything that you might not say regularly to them, do regularly, now you're doing because of what's happened with the amygdala. It's fogged up your prefrontal cortex, the wise part of your brain, okay? So when they do the brain scans, imagine the amygdala about this size, and it actually shrinks to the size of almost an almond. So it goes from here to about there. Now you are beginning to understand most meditators, again, they're not trying to be calm and balanced and grounded and just different from the norm, others around them. It's because they've also shrank their amygdala, which is the part of our brain that really freaks us out. It stresses us out, and it gets activated when things are just not in homeostasis, not in balance. So that part of the brain shrinks. The third, but not last. So we're just covering these three regions today, but I just want you to know it's not limited to these. There's a part of the brain behind the prefrontal cortex and in the middle of the amygdala called the hippocampus. Imagine it sitting right here in all of us. It is the part of the brain responsible for memory, creativity, short-term memory, long-term memory, and motivation and purpose. Oftentimes, as most adults are getting into midlife, it could be anything 30s, 40s, but I'm actually hearing this a lot from my 20-year-old clients too. They're forgetting things. They're feeling foggy. They go into their bedroom, they go into their kitchen. I don't know I forgot what I'm doing. I'm forgetting a lot of things. I just want you to name it now. It's the hippocampus. We want our hippocampus to be thick and large. Most people, science shows when they're doing the brain scans, when somebody doesn't have a moderately healthy lifestyle, eating right, drinking enough water, sleeping 7 to 8 hours a day, so on, the hippocampus is getting thin and shrinking in size. So when they do the brain scans for the meditators, the hippocampus is thick, it's getting thicker and getting larger. So these are the three main parts of the brain that begin to change, but please remember it's not limited to this. Next, I want to actually take you through the why, what's happening in your brain, when to meditate. When people ask me, when is the best time to meditate? Anytime. So please don't limit yourself by saying, oh, I didn't get to meditate in the morning, not worth it. No, you can meditate anytime. I always tell beginners, please try not to meditate at night, right before bedtime, because our brain is associating nighttime in the bed with sleep. So we don't want to do that. So I want you to begin to see meditation as a brain building exercise that you are going to commit to. It is one of the easiest, most transformative things that you can do for your mind, body, and soul. But it is not simple for most people. Why? Because they're not seeing it tangible. They're not seeing something tangible. When we work on our physical body, oh, my jeans fit better, this is feeling different, so on. So the brain, we're just not seeing that immediately. If you actually stick to it for a few weeks, you will begin to actually feel different. Your emotions are regulating better. You're more present. You're dealing with stressors differently. So imagine it like we attend to our physical body. I want you to begin to see meditation not as, oh, I'm meditating. It's just a thing that I do when I'm like on vacation, relaxing. Cut that out, put a big X to that, and begin to see it as brain building. You are changing the structure of your brain. What they say in neuroplasticity, the brain is plastic. It has formed for you this way today in how you deal with overall stress, overall self-awareness, overall with yourself and others because of your upbringing. Everything is forming from the moment you're conceived up until now. And neuroplasticity, which includes meditation, is then you begin to reshape your brain, like we can actually scrunch up plastic and it stays that way. That's how the brain is. That is the science of neuroplasticity. So now I'm going to take you through a meditation practice. I'm going to teach you all how to meditate correctly. After the session ends, you can actually begin your own meditation practice, hopefully even without an app. So we're going to be doing mindfulness meditation today. I would like you to put aside all of your pens, papers, everything that you have with you. And the way I've structured it for all of us today, I'm going to take you through about a 5-minute practice. I'm going to get out of it. Then I'm going to ask some questions. A lot of people have a lot of questions after the first time. Then we'll do a quick 2 or 3 minute one, second time, and then we'll take questions. So just putting aside all pens, papers, everything. So you want to be sitting in an upright position like I am. The back is straight. The palms, they can be rested on your legs facing up or facing down. I always tell clients we speak to the world through our physical body. So face them up if you need energy right now. If you're feeling lethargic, tired, hungry, face them up. Face them down if you're feeling irritable, bored, restless, or any sort of high stress that you might be experiencing. We want to ground those emotions. So place your palms down on your legs. So we'll all close our eyes. And just taking a few deep breaths as we transition from talking, doing, thinking, and sharing to being, allowing, receiving, and grounding. So what I'd like you to do is invite your body just for the next few minutes to be in complete stillness, where the only thing that's moving is your breath. And what I'd like you to do is have your inner awareness on your breath. Now, if you notice that the rhythm of your breath is very short and shallow, I would like us to meet our breath and ourselves in this moment exactly where it wants to be. So allow it to be short and shallow. And what you will notice is slowly and gradually, without you insisting it must be a deep belly breath, it begins to deepen and becomes a natural, deep belly breath like we see in babies. That is the healthy, natural way that our body needs to breathe to calm down our nervous system that is usually in activated mode throughout the day. Now that you've stilled your body and you know where to have your attention within, it's on your breath. What you might notice is the body might want to begin to move, it might get an itch, it might get an ache. Just for the next few minutes, it won't be long. I'd like you to just gently request of your body. I know there's an ache in my ankle or back. I'll be able to attend to you in just a couple of minutes. I'm still for your benefits. And I want you to begin to use this language when you do your meditation. The body is not used to being still. So you're just beginning to meet it. Where it is, where it's usually in a dysregulated, activated mode. Now that you know what to do with your body, it's still, and you know where to have your attention within, it's on your breath. The last instruction is what to do with your thoughts and emotions. Just for the next couple of minutes, I would like you to see and witness all of your thoughts and emotions coming and going right in front of you. Usually we think our thoughts in our head and we feel our emotions in our body. Just for the next couple of minutes, I'd like you to witness and observe all of your thoughts and emotions coming and going right in front of you. You could have a different visualization. Your thoughts and emotions are like waves at the beach. The thought flows in, the thought flows out. The emotion flows in, the emotion flows out. As you remain the grounded, anchored, kind witness and observer of all of your thoughts and emotions. Every time you notice that the mind is wandering away from the present thoughts and emotions and experience, notice that your mind is wandering. Gently bring it back to your breath, which is the anchor spot on your body. So we'll be in this space for the next 2 minutes. As hard as it might be, just try to stay with us. And gently bringing your awareness to your breath. And anytime that we're coming out of a meditation, it's really important to ground. Sometimes we can just travel in our mind and be disconnected from our bodies in the present moment. That's okay. All we need to do is just ground. So I'd like you to bring your awareness to the soles of your feet. And I'd like you to visualize, see, and feel deep roots from the soles of your feet, going all the way down, connecting you to the center of the earth. And feel those unconditional, strong, supportive, grounding energies going from the center of the earth up the roots and into your body through the soles of your feet. And just feel yourself from the crown of your head all the way down to your toes, just being covered with grounding, strong, vital energies. Just like some other living things get everything that they need from this earth energy, you can get so many benefits from earthing and grounding. Once you've done the grounding, you can bring your awareness back to the anchor spot. The anchor spot on your body is always the breath. Allow your breath to begin to serve as a cue for you. Come back to myself, come back to the present moment when we lose our homeostasis, when we lose our grounding. And just taking a few deep healing and cleansing breaths. On the breath out, letting go of anything uncomfortable you're feeling. On the breath in, breathing in, that unconditional, universal, supportive, grounding, strong energies. When you feel ready, you can slowly and gradually come back to awareness by opening your eyes. So I hope that was a helpful experience for all of you to know how to do mindfulness meditation. I would like to ask any attendees if you guys have any questions. Do you have any doubts of what you just went through? Any questions? Anything that you need clarity on in that practice that we just did? So one of the questions is, I can't focus, how to focus? So it's almost like going to the physical gym. When we're building our physical muscles, when we go to the gym, we're not saying, oh, I haven't felt my muscles yet. I haven't felt the difference yet. I won't go to the gym. So it's the same thing with our mind muscle, the brain building. The moment you notice that the mind is wandering away, cannot focus, all you are doing is notice that the mind has wandered, bring it back to your breath. So that is what you're doing over and over again. Is praying considered a meditation? For many people, they do consider praying a meditation, but you want to differentiate it with the practice that we just did. So when somebody is praying, that is an active thing that they're doing. They have to actively talk or might engage or connect with a higher power. In meditation, in the formal practice of meditation, just like I led you through it, we're not actually intentionally thinking of something or saying something or focusing on something. All we are doing is just seeing our thoughts and emotions come and go. The moment the mind wanders off, notice the mind has wandered off and bring it back to our breath. That is mindfulness meditation 101. What does empathy have to do with mindfulness? That is a very good question, and it has a lot to do with mindfulness, because mindfulness is to be open and curious and present in the moment, in the now moment. Most of us cannot do that because our brains are not trained and we're stuck in the past and future tripping. And then when we are doing that, we are not able to be empathetic or kind to others, which is a big part of mindful living. Now, when somebody begins to meditate, that this empathy is happening from this part of the brain, and it literally automatically begins to happen because you're changing the structure of your brain. Just somebody commenting that that was a positive experience for them. Thank you so much for that feedback. How to know if you're meditating well. So this is a really important question for all of those who are still here. How to know if you're meditating when the mind cannot stop wandering. That is one of the biggest misconceptions of meditation. Our mind is not supposed to stop wandering. We are not supposed to clear the mind. We are not supposed to sweep away the thoughts and emotions. All we are doing is noticing the wandering mind, bring it back to the breath. And when somebody is doing daily meditation of 1 to 5 minutes every single day as a beginner, what begins to naturally happen, the structure of the brain begins to change, and eventually the mind stops wandering. Remember, it's brain building. It's not mind stopping. We don't want to do that. How do you know when 30 minutes are up? So I would not recommend starting with 30 minutes as a beginner. And I might start with a minute or 5 minutes, maximum 10 minutes. And then there are a lot of apps that you can get for your phone that are gong, like a gong bell. You can do that after the 30 minutes. You can do like set a gong bell on your phone. My body became very heavy after meditation. That is a side effect. It could be that your body just needs some resting. There might be a release happening. And all you want to do during a meditation is just observe it. Don't try to read too much into it. And what you will see, the more you just stay in that witness and observer mode, the heaviness will pass. So Saliha, if you don't mind answering these questions, I might want to take them through one quick just another mindfulness meditation, just so everybody just really gets the idea. And I'll just take them through 1 minute. What do you think? Or should we?
Sure, let's do it.
Okay.
I'm typing out as many answers as I can at the moment.
You can type answers because there are a lot of questions, but I just want
one thing really quickly, because a lot of people have this question, and a lot of people said that I noticed that my body is heavy, or I'm sleepy, or that I have pain in my body. And that is basically you connecting to your body and seeing what it actually needs. Of course, meditation is relaxing, but if you find yourself sort of dozing off, or you find that, oh my God, my shoulders are in pain, or my lungs can't breathe, that is basically your normal state most of the time. You are just becoming aware of that. What most of us do, we live in a very dissociated state. We are all living up here, all living on our screens, and we actually don't know what's going on with our body. And the more you meditate, the more you realize, oh, I have a lot of tension in my shoulders, or, you know, I ate that and that really like started hurting as soon as I ate. You start to become more integrated as a human being and a lot more aware of your body when you are meditating, because you are not just living up in your thought world, la world, your future, your past. These are all thoughts, guys. And most of us are living in a world of thoughts. Most of us are living in a dissociated state. And when you start to meditate, you start to become aware of the things your body might need. And most of us, and I'll bet my bottom dollar, is that we are sleep deprived and we are not getting the restorative type of sleep that we need. And if you guys have more questions about sleep, you guys can watch my YouTube video on sleep, because you'll realize that most of us are actually sleep deprived. So I'm going to stop talking now. And Maddie, you're going to take us through a meditation. I will keep answering the questions.
Thank you. Just one other comment that I had on the questions as well. Can I meditate while I'm lying down? I highly encourage you not to do that. When you are advanced, you've done it, you know, let's imagine like any skill. I want you to begin to see this as a skill building. I can't emphasize enough, if you do this, it will change your life. And if we ever do a seminar like this again, maybe you're one of the participants that shows up and says, I got the buy-in from this presentation. I began to do it, and it changed my life. I was one of those people who would walk out of a yoga class when they're doing the Vipassana, which is meditation part. I was not a meditator my entire life, but 10 years ago, I just came across a good teacher who taught me the way I am teaching you, and it changed my life about 10 years ago, and I became a daily meditator. So just know that just like you wouldn't build any skill while lying down, while sleeping, we don't want to do that with meditation. We're not giving it the respect and the skill building that it requires, because remember, it's a brain building, and nobody, teaches it to us like this. So we'll just go through it one more minute before you guys, before we just end the session. So just sitting in an upright position, you want your back straight, dignified posture. John Kabat-Zinn, who's the father of mindfulness, talks about getting into your meditation practice with a dignified posture. You want to have a strong back and soft front, and gently bringing your eyes to a close, facing your palms up if you need energy, facing your palms down if you need to ground any sort of stress, irritability, or boredom. All of those difficult emotions are normal, they're healthy, but we have power and choice, and if we decide to give into them. Even as a daily meditator, I can feel bored. I can witness the boredom. I don't have to give in to the boredom by getting out of my meditation. It's just an emotion. It will come and go. You're bringing your awareness to your breath. And I'd like you to see and feel all of your thoughts and emotions. Maybe we try a different visualization. Your thoughts and emotions are like clouds in a windy sky. As you remain the grounded and anchored witness and observer of all of your thoughts and emotions coming and going. Always remembering you are not your thoughts, you are not your emotions, and you are not your behaviors. You are the witness and the observer, the soul. So I'll be in this space for 60 seconds. Bringing your awareness to your breath. Just taking a few deep healing and cleansing breaths. And just thanking yourself for giving yourself this time. We often rarely do that in our busy lives. That's why meditation is a big part of self-awareness. Who am I without all of this busyness and running around in my life? Who am I underneath all that? And we get to connect to that part of us. And I'd like you to just set an intention for the rest of your day, evening, and night. Bringing a little bit of movement in your toes and feet and fingers and hands. And when you feel ready, you can slowly and gradually come back to awareness.
I feel so good. Madeeha, I'm just going to say one thing because I don't know if it's clear because I'm still seeing some questions and I don't know if that is before or after you said what you said. So guys, when you go to the gym for the first time and you lift a weight, right? You go to the gym. If I go to the gym every single day and lift a 5-pound weight, I'm going to develop my bicep muscles a whole lot faster. If I go to the gym once a week, I will still develop that muscle. However, it's going to take me a whole lot longer. So if you meditate every day, 5 minutes, multiple times a day, it doesn't have to be 30 minutes in one sitting. It can be 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Just start with 10 seconds, just so you can start to feel that feeling. Madeeha did it for 1 minute. That 1 minute feels like an eternity sometimes when you're starting. Start with 1 minute. The app that I sent you guys called Fit Mind literally starts with 30 seconds of meditation and builds up from there like a boot camp. What you are doing is doing mind gym. For me, I'm an athlete. I like the idea of training. For me, I like the training aspect of things. I am training my brain when I am meditating. When I don't meditate, my muscles get loose again. So just because I did it for 8 weeks doesn't mean my amygdala is forever shrunk. The world that we live in is very hectic, and you will go back to your ways of doing things and being reactive if you don't keep it as a way of life. So this is a way of life, just like exercise is a way of life, sleeping is a way of life, working is a way of life. Meditation in this type of way is a way of life. And you're going to have to do it as often as you can, every day if possible. Every day should be the goal, in order for you to develop and train your brain to have all of the benefits that we talked about. You will not, for example, when sometimes people are just exercising and they're like, well, I don't see a difference. I haven't lost any weight. Just do it. Trust us on this one. Something is happening without you knowing. And then one day you will realize, this is what happened. There are so many times where you don't know the benefits of things, but you know that something is going to happen, and you just have to trust the research. You have to trust the practicing people. When you see people that are meditating, you can just see that there's a calmness in their way of being. You just have to trust that and know that if I just keep doing it every single day, something will happen. It's just like every other thing that you've ever done in your life. You didn't start reading Shakespeare. You started with ABC, and then you read words, and then you read sentences. It's just like that. So don't say, well, I meditated for a week and I'm not calm, so I quit. It doesn't work like that. So that's all to say.
Just 2 quick books for anybody who's looking for the research in meditation. So Meditation for Fidgety Skeptics. It has it's good for beginners, and it's got a lot of amazing research that we all need to anchor our practice in. And second, there's so many books out there, but Mindsight by Daniel Siegel, The New Science of Personal Transformation. So both of these have amazing research and science of just meditation. And they also teach.
Can I just say that, Madeeha, you have a weekend session that you're doing this weekend, right? Or was it last weekend?
That's actually a type of a meditation, energy balancing, this coming Saturday, on May 8th. They can find the details on the Instagram page or our website.
Yeah. So, and also a lot of people ask this question. You are taking clients right now to do one-on-one sessions?
Yes.
Okay. So I just wanted to give that answer to everybody. That I've even shared her questions and answers. So you guys can contact her directly and she will set something up for you guys. But I would also encourage you guys to come to the weekend one because she talks a lot about chakras and energy balancing. And then she does an energy healing, which is more of like a 30-minute or 20-minute session, which is quite long.
Monthly, yeah.
it's always magical. Magic happens in those sessions. So thank you all for being with us. You guys will get a link to this, and then we will hopefully see you guys next time. Bye, guys.